Hello everyone, welcome back to another Germangirlinlondon video. I think we must be quite close to hitting 100 videos in that playlist, so if you're new here I'll link the playlist below and it'll be at the end of this video, so if you're interested in these kind of videos there are loads of them, like loads and loads of them on my channel. So yes, today is another video about the oddities of the English language. Now don't get me wrong, German has loads of oddities too, but it just seems to be more easy for me to point them out in English because obviously I grew up speaking German, so for me odd things in German are not as obviously odd as they are in English because it's only my second language that I learned or started learning when I was 11 years old. So today I have 4 words for you which are just pronounced differently to what I expected. So I've lived in the UK for 5 years and a bit now, and you just, you know, as I mentioned before, I used to have an American accent and then I shifted to a more British accent, even though I still pronounce some words American, I am aware. And you just kind of find a pattern within British pronunciation, or at least I thought I had found that pattern. And these are basically 4 words that kind of deviated from the pattern that I have found. Not all of them are like British English specific. I probably would have pronounced them wrong in an American accent as well. It's just English words that are just pronounced different to what I thought they were going to be pronounced. That made no sense. Anyway, so the very first word that I just don't understand why it's pronounced the way it is this word. Now this word is pronounced scarce. Now, I don't know why, but I was always convinced it should be pronounced scarce, just because it just sounds more British, it just makes more sense to me. Of course, if it was pronounced scarce, there would be no difference between like the plural of scar, so I do understand why it's not pronounced like that, but just, you know, continuity, is that a word? Continuity wise, it would make so much more sense if this was pronounced scarce, because it just sounds more proper British, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but it's not pronounced scarce, it's pronounced scarce. No idea why, of course. The next word is this word, and I think I'm probably the only person that pronounces this wrong, but I mean I don't pronounce it wrong anymore, but I used to pronounce it wrong. And I used to pronounce this orchid, and I know that just sounds ridiculous if you're like native English speaking, but my logic behind it is you pronounce it orchid, right? So if it's orchid, why isn't it orchid as well? This, by the way, is pronounced orchard, so an orchard is like an, is it only apples? I'm not even sure, but it's like an apple orchard is like a place where apples grow, I guess. And I just always used to say orchid just because I used logic, which is apparently something you cannot do in most languages. Never use logic to try and figure out how to pronounce things because usually it doesn't follow any logic. Word number 3 is actually a bit of a cheat because it's a town slash city. I'm not ever sure what the real difference is. I know that in the UK I think it's a city when it has a cathedral or something, and it's a town when it has something else. I think in Germany it's more by population, I'm not 100% sure, but generally a lot of towns in the UK I would call village in Germany. But anyway, that's just a side note. I actually have 2 videos about pronouncing, or is it one video? I think I have one video called places in the UK that you're pronouncing wrong or something. I'll link it below. And I don't think did I put it in there? I can't remember, but this word, and I think everyone does that who isn't from the UK, pronounces this wrong. I was convinced it was reading, but once I moved to the UK I found out it's reading. I don't think there is an actual logic behind that. Again, it's just the way it's pronounced, but how would you know? You just wouldn't, because you know, it's I'm reading a book and it's spelled the exact same, so how would you know that is Reading? Obviously Reading Leeds Festival kind of makes sense now, but that's another one. And the very last one, I don't know why I thought this was pronounced differently, but it's this word, and for some reason I was convinced it would be pronounced Crescent, which I know sounds super stupid, but my logic was like words like fiscal, so the SC, I was just convinced that it should be a harsh K sound, but this is actually pronounced Crescent, So there is a tube stop in London called Mornington Crescent, and I just didn't know how to pronounce it until I heard it on the tube, and I was quite surprised that it was pronounced Crescent and not Crescent, because I just thought that made more sense. And yeah, these are 4 words that I just didn't think would be pronounced the way they are for some reason. I'm sure there are many more words like that, but these are the ones I could come up with quickly, because I still sometimes get them wrong, especially scarce, because something in my head just wants to say scarce and I don't know why. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe if you haven't and you'd like to be. Give it a like, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!